Now, Tyra, I know you weren't paying attention in class because you were sitting there trying to think of jokes that you could make about yourself before anyone else could make them against you. And for that reason, I'm here to help you. Okay? I'm here to help you where the educational system has failed. But for that to happen, you have to open up your mind and, just let your brain breathe a little bit. In the event that you have a question about something, you can always crack open a book and try and find the answer. But let me plant the seeds for you right now that will hopefully grow into something in your mind that looks more like a rational thought. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and play the video and we're going to hit a couple of points and see if we can't bring your IQ up at least another 5 or 6 points. Here we go.
You can't teach stupid people new shit. You can't teach stupid people new shit. Kibble is basically processed garbage. You know what I mean? Some of them gotta, you know, I mean, if you want to say good shit in them, some of them is like choosing the lesser of the two evils. You know what I mean? Like for me, choosing diamond over, that's why I got them on a semi-raw diet. For me, choosing diamond over pedigree, I'm choosing the lesser of the two evils when we look at, right? When we look at the fact that these dogs naturally in the wild before they were domesticated were fucking killing live motherfucking shit for their food. They survive, they live, they flourish, their litters flourish, the whole fucking nine. You got dogs dying off kibble now. Remember. Now, Vic, if a top of the line dog food, as they call it, diamond, I mean not diamond, fucking sports mix, could literally kill dogs because in the processing plant, shit got fucked up. That shit ended up getting packaged and transferred to a lot of motherfucking stores in a certain area, right? And a bunch of dogs die. And we talking about sports mix. Now, sports mix is a way higher quote unquote quality of a dog food than pedigree will ever be, right? Now, if that can happen at the sports mix plants and factories, what do you think then happened at the pedigree factories?
Tyra, you've been watching my videos, and that's not a bad thing. That is not a bad thing. I'm not going to get on you about it. It's a good thing. We've come a long way since I last made this video right here in mid 2019, where I was trying to explain to you the benefits of fresh food versus dog food, the dry dog food that you were buying. We've come a long way since then. Let's have a listen to your thought process back then and compare it to what you're doing now.
Who dogs eat like mine? Who got dogs out there that eat like mine? Hey, I got a challenge for you. Go live right now and show this much in dog food right now. Show this much in dog food right now. Show that much in dog food right now. We got diamond, blue buffalo, royal cane, Eukanuba, Victor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, bitch. Man, you know what I'm gonna do, man? I'm gonna go back and get probably about 10 more bags more. Why not? Cause it's good to have shit on deck, man, and then you ain't gotta keep running to the store. Show me somebody who feed their dogs like me. Oh, bet you can't feed them like me.
Tyra, you just started on the path to healthier dog food this year. It wasn't but a few months ago where you were feeding your dogs sports mix and pedigree. But I promise you, by the end of this video, you'll have all the tools you need to start making your dog healthier food. Right here, it tells you about Sports Mix and the recall they had because their food was diseased. It was filled with fungus, and the fungus killed multiple dogs. Sports Mix is a 2-star dog food. Let's take a look at the ingredients. The first couple of ingredients, and you might remember I spoke about this before, it's like the first 4 ingredients, that's what's most important initially. There's a little bit more to it than that, but let's take a look at the first 4. Well, the first few. It's chicken byproduct meal, ground corn, meat meal, and ground wheat. We already spoke about the chicken fat last time. That's just a flavoring to make it more appealing to dogs. Let's look at chicken byproduct. Rendered product from slaughterhouse waste. All right, we covered this. This is after everything that we eat as humans is removed from the chicken. Whatever is left over, that's what they throw into dog food. In addition to organs, this item can also include feet, beaks, undeveloped eggs, and almost anything other than prime skeletal muscle. All right, the second ingredient is corn. This is your killer right here, corn. And I'm going to explain why that's your killer in just a little bit. Your next ingredient is meat meal. Okay, meat meal is whatever is on tap. Whatever is on tap, ground up into bits. All right, it says since in this case the source animal is not known, this item could come from almost anywhere. Spoiled supermarket meat, roadkill, dead, diseased, or dying livestock, even euthanized pets. There have been several recalls because they found euthanized pets inside the dog food, and this was killing the dogs. Now it's corn, and again I'm going to explain why the corn was killing dogs in a second. Pedigree. Pedigree is a 1-star dog food. Let's look at what's in a 1-star dog food, and you'll immediately see the difference between a 1 and a 2-star dog food. 1-star, the first ingredient is ground whole grain corn. That's your killer. Next ingredient is meat and bone. Then we go to corn gluten meal, animal fat, again for flavoring. You can go all the way down the list. Now, the top of the list is where you get your euthanized pets and your corn, which are killers. The bottom of the list is where you get your yellow 5, yellow 6, blue 2, and red 40. These are dyes to color your food. Yellow, blue, red. Dogs don't care what color their food is. This is for humans, to make the human think that it's healthier. Because, oh look, it's got yellow bits, it's got green bits, it's got blue bits. This is all significant and linked to healthier foods like blueberries, like carrots, like corn. Corn's a bad example, but you get my point. The colors, they use the colors to make you think the dog is eating something healthy. But what the dog is really ingesting is dyes. And dyes cause your dog to die. All these dyes basically promote cancer. So top of the list, you have poison. Bottom of the list, you have cancer. What does a better dog food look like? Let's take Instinct Original Dry. This is a 5-star dog food. Why is it a 5-star dog food? What is in a 5-star dog food that separates it from the rest? Here we have first few ingredients: duck, chicken meal, peas, egg product, turkey meal. Okay, the first few ingredients are all meats: duck, chicken, turkey, Then you got the peas and the eggs. Peas are easier to digest than corn. It also has like a tough skin around it, but once you pop through that, there's a lot on the inside that's good for dogs. Even though it's not the best, it's better than corn. It's way better than corn. If you move further down the list, you'll see freeze-dried duck, including freeze-dried ground duck bone, that's your calcium, freeze-dried chicken, freeze-dried chicken liver. What else we got? It's pumpkin seeds, the salt, is freeze-dried chicken heart. Now the organs, these organs are very important. Organs contain a lot of nutrients in them. This is why this food doesn't have all the extra added vitamins that Pedigree had. Pedigree had a whole bunch of added vitamin B this and B that and C that and D this, because in the cooking process, most of the nutrients are cooked out, so they have to put it all back in. This does have some supplements, but not a whole lot, because those organs are in there providing all your supplements. You have some additional B12, you have some folic acid, you have some D3. Moving on, you got carrots, you got apples, you got cranberries. Let's see, you got dried tomato pomace. That is controversial because tomato is part of the nightshade plant, and nightshade is poisonous. But the pomace, which we actually can eat also, is minimally poisonous, not very much at all, no more so than apple seeds. Moving further down the list, we have a bunch of other things like kelp, salmon oil, blueberries. There are no dyes in this. There aren't many minerals and preservatives added to it. It's basic stuff. It's basically meat and vegetables. This is how you make a healthier dog food. Now, I don't like kibble, but if I took this as a starting point and I went to the supermarket and I bought myself some duck and some chicken and some turkey and some carrots, apples, cranberries, make sure I get in the chicken hearts, get the turkey bones, things like that. Get the organs, get some organ meat, get some basic meat, get a few vegetables. You chop this up, get some salmon oil or some any kind of fish oil is fine. You chop all this up, you put it in a pot, you boil it down to basically kill parasites and burn off diseases, hopefully, as best you can. But you mix this up, you combine this up in a way that your dog can consume it, and this is your healthy meal right here, minus the kibble. Just take the actual duck, the actual chicken, the peas, the eggs, all that other stuff, and cook it up in a fashion that you would eat it. And this is what's going to make a healthier meal for your dog. Now, getting back to why corn is bad. Corn is prone to, well, in addition to not having any nutrients in it of value to a dog, corn is also susceptible to this fungus right here, Aspergillus flavus. This fungus will grow on your dog food. Your dog will eat it and he will die. You may notice down at the bottom here, this fungus is from the family, let's take a crack at this, Trichocomacea. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but it's probably pretty close. Trichocomacea. Tyra, you may be familiar with this family. It's where you got your trichomonias from, when you had that fungus on your penis. Okay, so if you don't want a fungus on your penis, you definitely don't want a fungus in your dog's food. Dogs, chickens, and many other types of herd or pack animals have very large litters of children. And this is because 50 to 80% of them are not expected to survive. In the wild, a dog that has 12, a litter of 12, can expect maybe six to eight of them will die before they reach 1 year old. This is for many reasons. This is because they lack shelter. This is because they lack the resources to get enough food. This is due to disease. This is due to predators. It's due to a lot of different things. But in the wild, the mother would go out, or the mother or the father, they would go out, they would catch whatever animal they can. Now, if that animal is large enough to feed all of them, which usually it won't be. I mean, a dog is only so big. A dog by itself is not going to be able to kill anything of equal size, equal or greater size. It's going to have to catch something maybe a quarter of its size and split whatever that is up between itself and its children. And it's just not going to be enough food. It's a fact of life. Dogs are going to die off. The percentage is anywhere from 50 to 80% in the wild are not expected to survive. At least not long enough to be able to produce offspring. Maybe 1, 2, 3 at best are going to be able to do that. On top of all that, dogs in the wild are not expected to live beyond 5 years. A dog reaches the age of maturity at about 1 to 2 years. They're full grown. And 3 years past that, 5 years more tops, and the dog is gone in the wild. In a domestic situation, like they are now, yeah, dogs can live 10, 15 years, maybe just a tiny bit more if well cared for. But in the wild, it's just not going to happen. Which is an excellent segue to something else you said. Let's have a listen to the rest of your video.
And they just doing it because they copycat. Other people are doing it because they know the health benefits of taking these dogs that were originally out in the wild, and then domesticated at a later date by piece of shit humans, right? We're trying to take them back to their original roots. Follow me. Now, let's look at humans, right? What the fuck was we eating before you had a Whole Foods, a fucking Kroger, Save-A-Lot, Save-A-Ton, Preston Safeway, all these processing plants, etc. What did we originally eat? We ate fruits and vegetables. We ate from vegetation. We wasn't eating fucking meats. We wasn't in killing cows and pigs and shit and eating that shit. This is why the people who see when a lot of these vegan people, I don't get why they ain't stressing the fact of them trying to go back to their original roots, my nigga. Whether they white, black, green, orange, purple, blue, turquoise. You underdig? They're trying to go back to their original roots. Right? See, y'all want to call somebody a cannibal that eats humans. No, a cannibal is a motherfucker who eat meat. I eat meat, so we all cannibals. Is that not true? Let's look at it for what it is, not what they're trying to convince us it is. Let's use common sense and think for self. A cannibal is a motherfucker who eat meat. Nah, but y'all say a cannibal is a motherfucker who eat their own kind. The fuck? But you skipping a part of to be a cannibal, you gotta eat meat. That's the whole gist of it. Right? A lot of you idiots subject that to a human eating a human. Wow. I mean, damn, you can't teach stupid people new shit. You can't teach stupid people new shit. Your steak be medium rare. My steak be well done. I can't eat that shit, man. You know what I mean? We did not eat meats, man. We didn't. So when I cook meat, I'm not eating no raw nothing. I don't eat sushi. I don't eat no raw meat, period. We didn't, that ain't the origin of us. You feel what I'm saying? That ain't the origin of our motherfucking diet. You feel what I'm saying? Straight up. We ate berries. We ate motherfucking fruits. We ate fucking different types of produce. You see, this is the origin of humankind, man. Mankind. Straight up. Now, why the fuck in the Bible say God fed all them people with a loaf of bread and a fish?
Okay, Tyra, let's talk about origins and definitions here. All right, up on the screen, we have cannibal. According to the dictionary, it means a person who eats the flesh of other human beings. Its second definition is an animal that feeds on flesh of its own species. Basically, any creature that eats the same type of creature. A human who eats a human, a lion who eats a lion, a fish that eats another fish are all cannibals. Next we have carnivore. That is an animal that feeds on flesh. That could be a different creature's type of flesh. A human who eats a cow, a lion that eats a gazelle. These are carnivores. Omnivores, an animal or person that eats food of both plant and animal origin. And finally, a herbivore, an animal that feeds on plants exclusively. Humans are not herbivores. Humans are not naturally vegan or vegetarian. We are hunter-gatherers and we are omnivores. Our origins are hunter-gatherers, meaning we would go out and we would scrounge whatever we can. We would grab, the potatoes, the berries, the apples, whatever we could subsist on, whatever we could live on to hold us over until we can get ourselves a kill. Until we can get ourselves a deer or a rabbit or something like that, bring it home and kill it. In between, we did eat vegetation, vegetables, fruits, berries, stuff like that. This was a necessity. This was only to hold us over until we can get our next real meal. And actually, scientists have theorized that civilization, the reason why we became civilized is because of meat and farming and things like that. Instead of having to go out and constantly gather up nuts and berries and hunt down animals to kill, we were able to bring these animals closer to us and pen them up into a place where they could not escape, and we could kill them at our leisure. And since we're not spending all of this time out hunting and foraging, because we now have farms with animals and we're growing vegetables in it, we can stay in the same spot and do other things, like work on defenses to protect these things, fences, proper housing, weapons, things to ward off predators from stealing our stuff. And in the pursuit of building a better castle, essentially, we ended up building cities and everything that comes around it. Transportation to go from one place to another, thicker walls, stronger walls, better tools. Everything we have essentially was developed in an effort to protect the animals and the vegetables that we're growing, because we don't want to have to go back out there and hunt on a regular basis. It's inconsistent. Look at the way animals do it. It's inconsistent. Even with cheetahs. Cheetahs have a 30% success rate. One of the fastest land mammals is not very successful at all when it comes to hunting. But let's get off that. Now that we have our definitions and assumed origins, let's look at some evidence to back it up. What we have here are teeth. Cat's teeth. Long, pointy. Dog's teeth. Long, pointy. If you look at the very front teeth for cats and dogs, they are flat. If you look at human teeth, down here at the bottom, we have our incisors. They're flat teeth that are in the front of our mouths, just like dogs and cats. Is this making the case that we're carnivores? No, actually it's not. We also have canines, your little vampire teeth on the corners of your mouth. These teeth are built for digging into flesh and holding on, while the incisors are built to cut flesh. You'll see dogs and cats have canines as well as incisors, designed again for meat. Then you have your premolars and your molars. These teeth are wide and flat, kind of like two big boulders, and they are meant to smash stuff. Right? They take the hard bits of meat, the hard fruits and vegetables that you might eat, and they smash them into a paste. These are primarily for your vegetables. Cows have teeth just like these. Cows, if you look in their mouths, they have incisors in the front, and then they run off into long lines of molars. Okay, they bite on the grass, their incisors cut the grass, they pull the grass into their mouths, and their molars get to work pulverizing this stuff. Humans have the tools to eat vegetables, fruits and vegetables. This means we are omnivores, while cats and dogs are carnivores. And your cows and your rabbits would be herbivores, just by looking at the teeth. Even though dogs also have molars, I'm not sure if cats do, but dogs do. The molars in a dog's mouth are mostly ineffective because their jaws aren't properly set up to be able to use their molars. Their jaws basically go up and down, not side to side. So they're mostly carnivores, but they do eat some vegetable matter, which is usually taken from the stomach contents of whatever prey it is that they were hunting and killing. They usually start at the intestines, or at the stomach rather, and they eat the organs first, the stomach, whatever's in it, the heart, liver, all that good stuff, and that is the bulk of their vegetables. Now, if that's not enough proof for you, we can go back even further. In the Bible, it says Jesus fed 5,000 people with 5 loaves of bread and 2 small fish. In the Bible, which is a little over 2,000 years old, maybe older, they are acknowledging that we were eating meat, fish, at the time. But we can go back even further than that if you like. But before we get there, let's talk about humans domesticating dogs, or as you said, Tyra, a piece of shit humans domesticating dogs. Here we have a picture, a cave painting. This is supposed to be a human carrying weapons of some sort and a dog by his side. This painting is around 20,000 years old. Dogs and man have been friends for roughly 20,000 years, maybe a little longer, but ballpark, right around there. Now, you said piece of shit humans domesticated dogs. I argue the opposite. We didn't domesticate dogs. Dogs domesticated us. And why I say that, you might ask? Well, think of it this way. We've already established that humans go out in packs and they gather up fruits, nuts, vegetables, whatever. They bring it back. They subsist on this until they can get themselves a kill. Dogs do not eat this stuff. Dogs do not eat fruits, vegetables, and all that other stuff. I mean, they may nibble here and there on a carrot or something like that. They may nibble, but primarily they're getting their nutrition from meat. So they're not really interested in that stuff that we're bringing back. When we do go out and we make ourselves a kill, as you can see here in this cave painting, which again is roughly about 20,000 years old, humans would go out and they would kill large animals because we had weapons, we had numbers, and we were able to develop strategies, tactics in bringing these creatures down, surrounding them in a circle, isolating them from the rest of their herd, throwing spears at them, and eventually we were able to take down creatures even as large as elephants. We drag back this elephant in pieces to our little communities and we start cooking it up. The smell of this cooking meat spreads out across the plains, bringing in all sorts of creatures that also feed on meat. Crows, birds, mice, foxes, and dogs. Now, as I said earlier, dogs would have a large litter of 5, 8, 12 puppies, whatever, and because the dog is only so big and can only bring back so much food, it can't feed all of these puppies, or itself for that matter. Now, dogs are not stupid. They can be hunters, they can also be opportunistic hunters and scavengers, and they have great senses of smell. Imagine you drag back with your tribe this large elephant and you start cooking the meat. The smell spreads out over the plains. Dogs from far and wide are now coming because they can't regularly get enough food to feed all their kids. Now, we have spears and we killed this elephant. We can kill a couple of dogs, no problem. The dogs learned very quickly that there's only two ways that they were going to get any type of food from us. Steal it or beg for it. The ones that stole it could only do it so many times before they would get themselves killed. The ones that begged for it found that we weren't so inclined to kill them. If they came up, if they kept their distance, if we realized what it is that they wanted, that they're hungry, after we've had our fill, we may take pity on them and toss them a few pieces of meat. They'll grab it, they'll run off back to their den, they'll feed their puppies. So whenever times get tough for the dog, they know that they can come to a human, they can beg for some scraps to feed their kids, and it's a nice little relationship there. Eventually, as dogs started to get older, as generations started to pass, they would figure, hey, maybe we should move closer to these humans because they're the ones who are going to have all this meat around for when we can't find enough. Might as well be closer. And they moved closer and closer until eventually they started just living with us. Now, did we invite them in, or did they invite themselves in? Did they realize that we were going to start giving them food, or did we realize that by giving them food they would come to us? I think instead of us domesticating dogs, dogs domesticated us. They basically tricked us into feeding them, allowing them into their homes, and in exchange, they would become part of our pack and warn us of incoming danger, as well as accompanying us on hunts. And this is where our friendship of dogs came from. It was somewhat of a mutual thing, but even more so for the dogs. We got ourselves a great alarm system and companions. You see, Tyra, if you just take a few minutes, you think about it, you look at a couple of books, you come to the realization that a lot of things a lot of thoughts you formulated in your head are incorrect. But these too can be fixed. You also said the following.
You hear me? It's like, where did the boar come from? A boar is a pig. It's a mutated pig. Where do dogs come from? A dog is a mutated motherfucking wolf.
You're almost there, Tyra. Almost there. It's actually the other way around. Boars are not mutated pigs. Pigs are mutated boars or domesticated.
Sit.
So there you have it, Tyra.
Right.
Some food for your brain,
What I tell
and
you.
hopefully some
Sit.
food for thought on how to make better food for your dogs. In the future, if you spend more time and more care with your dogs, hopefully you'll eventually be able to teach them how to sit properly. Hopefully you'll be able to teach them to stop peeing on the floor.
Sit.
And
Cane.
maybe
Get back.
we can prove something else wrong about you. That the first comment you said, which was,
You can't teach stupid people new shit. Oh, don't talk about the piss. That's what the pads are for. You dumb bitch.